India and welcome to 10th Annual Pharmaceutical Leadership Summit and Pharma Leaders Business Leadership Awards. Today we are over here to discuss the Healthcare Roundtable, fixing the healthcare chaos and transforming healthcare delivery system. So let's get started. It is said to be the biggest industry in India, and keeping that in mind, we know it is growing rapidly. It is said that by 2020 it is going to cross $260 million. So we have today Miss Satya in house. Let's discuss with her. Welcome. Yeah, as I said that Indian industry, pharmaceutical industry is rapidly growing, and keeping that thing in mind, we want to have your perspective.
Well, pharmaceutical industry per se has been growing since, as I mentioned earlier, since the early 17th century. So having said that, yes, in India it's growing. The pharmaceutical industry has got a lot of boost from the Indian government, no doubt about it. In fact, I can only say one thing: the best research and development was done in India, not today, but I think in the late 20th century. Late 20th century was when maximum research and development took place from India. We are late entrants into this business. We started out way back in 2004. The company started in 2004. But I've been observing this industry at very, very close quarters because it's a passion for me. For me, pharmaceuticals is a passion, and that's where I come from. And that's my work. It is growing a lot in India. There are also a lot of setbacks. We are having our own setbacks. India's biggest problem today is we are facing a lot of flack from US, and that is hitting our country. So it's becoming scary, like something like demonic, as we call it. And sometimes it looks like witch hunt, but we know it's not that. It's a bit scary. Having said that, so the problems are there. How fast can you launch new drugs in the country? Not easy. Each drug takes an average of 10 to 15 years to launch any new drug. And it's the new drugs that will make the difference. Existing drugs, they can grow, but they have reached what is called a plateau. So I personally believe that maybe another 10 years down the line, you'll have again a boom of pharmaceuticals all over the world. 2020 is being touted as the main time, but I'm personally not too sure about that because there are too many problems. The last couple of years, I would say, we as a company faced it. We started in 2004, as I told you. 2005 was when Schedule M was implemented in India. We started off with Schedule M, but we had our problems because trying to get the approvals at that point of time in Maharashtra and India were very difficult, since the FDA was more interested in running around plants that did not conform to Schedule M, rather than new ones like ours which conform to Schedule M. Then we went through the phase of 2008-9 when the recession hit the world market, and it hit even India. It hit even us. We're a very small company in that game, but even we got hit by that. We have been seeing the changes. I've been observing 2014 when Shri Narendra Modi came into power. We were hoping for a lot more changes. There are changes happening. He is putting in that effort to make those changes.
I think these changes are the ones which are creating a lot of havoc, like the pricing cap and pricing control for the pharma industry is creating a lot of havoc in doctors as well as the pharma leaders.
Doctors, I can't answer because I've heard about it, but I'm not the right one to comment about the doctors part of it. Pharma, see, you should understand something about pharmaceuticals. It is not the manufacturing companies. It is the money that is actually made in the marketing part of it. So in the marketing part also there are percentages. Now a company like mine doesn't face all that because I don't market. I don't make any kind of a capsule or a tablet that goes into any human being's body. What I make is primarily aimed at entering into a capsule and then being used. So
basic formulation.
Basic formulation.
Yeah.
And also I'm a 100% export oriented unit, so I don't sell anything in India. My products are not sold in India actually. But price cap is necessary because in India what happens, I'll tell you, the biggest problem with India is we have a population that's at least, I would say 60 to 70% still lives below the poverty line. And when that 60 and 70% lives below the poverty line, expensive medicines are a choice. And if multinationals are allowed to have their way completely in India, it's going to kill the people and the industry too. I'll give you a small example. I hope I have the time for that. It's not related to India per se, but there was this drug that was discovered in US way back. I'm talking about the late 20th century. This drug there was work done on it by one Dr. Max Goldstein or somebody in the US, and somebody in Russia also did work on it. It's a very cheap product and it was found to cure a particular kind of cancer. Now, US, the pharma lobby stopped the drug altogether. They never allowed it to come out. In Russia, the work continued because Russia was basically dealing with, had communism in its place and was dealing with all the poor people. There was one doctor in US who had a similar problem, and when she had such a problem, what she did was doctors gave her a very limited time to live. So that's when she went through a lot of literature survey. She came across this product, she used it. She went through his theory, she tried it out, she found out in Russia where it had been a success story. But at the end of all of that, the product never saw it. Even today, it's not seen. So at the end of the day, the pharma lobby is very So whether it's India or whether it's United States, I think it will have its way. I personally believe, yes, drugs should be made easily accessible, easily available, and at a reasonable price. But at the same time, you can't compromise on quality. So these are few things. That's my outlook on things, but I'm not somebody who can comment on the people who have their capsules out in the market as to what price they should sell. But believe me, there are huge.
Women Healthcare Leader of the Year 2017. And the nominees are Ms. Satya Vadlamani, Chairperson and Managing Director, Murali Krishna Pharma Private Limited; Ms. Kavita Iyer Rodriguez, CEO at Zumuthor Biologics Limited; Zumuthor Biologics Incorporation; Ms. Arunima Patel, Founder and Managing Director, iGenetic Diagnostics; Dr. Naina Patel, Founder and Medical Director of Akansha Hospital and Research Institute; Dr. Radha Rangarajan, CEO and Founder, Vitas Pharma Research Private Limited; Ms. Ashwini Danigon, Executive Director and CEO, Manorama Info Solutions.